Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I'm right now living near Panama City, Florida. Be here for about another week. Want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace or Facebook where I have accounts. I'm also on Twitter. This year is about some true accounts that took place in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Holiday Inn Casino and Boardwalk on Las Vegas Boulevard between October 1996 and early April 1997. I'm from Las Vegas and I have family that live in Vegas. And I go to Vegas off and on all the time. I've lived there sometimes, and sometimes I'll just go to visit, and then sometimes I'll go back and live again for a while. Anyhow, this is just some basic events that took place there that I thought I would share with a few people out there that might be interested, that have never been to Vegas or never been to a casino or and have never worked at one. All I can tell you about a casino is that it's a fast-moving place. It's a lot of money coming and going, and it can be a cold place to work sometimes, but sometimes it can be a great place to work. When I worked there, I think I was only about among three guys there. Most of the people that worked in the promotion department where I worked at were mostly women, and of course that was fine with me. Uh, Basically, I worked outside with a big slot machine, you might say, where the objective is for tourists to come up, pull the lever, and try to win some money. I think it was up to 25,000. Of course, nobody ever won it. Or you could win a Harley. Nobody ever won it that I know of, or at least not when I worked there. But to get you to pull it, a little bit more of an, let's say something to give you a little more motivation to pull it, I'd give you a ticket. And what you could do, you could walk inside and get a free beer from the bar. And of course, we had a long line all the time. And that was a gimmick to get you to come inside. And of course, the whole goal is to get you to gamble. It's kind of like a convenience store with a gas pump. The convenience store is not making any money with those gas pumps. The whole idea is to lure you into the convenience store, hoping you'll buy coffee and hot dogs and food and candy and things like that. So they use the gas pumps to lure you in there because to pay, they of course want you to come inside. If you hopefully, of course, you can get a credit card or something, pay outside. But the whole idea is to get you to come inside, and that's what the gas pump's there for. Most convenience stores don't make any money off of gas, no matter what the price is, 2 or 3 cents a gallon. And that's what this casino was doing, And when you go inside, or actually when you're standing outside, it just literally busts your eardrums. It was very deafening work in there, and I think that's why I'm slightly deaf in this ear sometimes because it was just unbelievably loud there. But it was a fun job. You meet a lot of people, a lot of dates. There was no problem there, even though there was one girl inside named Kathy Lackyard that I really liked. When she'd come out sometimes and bring me some coffee or hot chocolate or something, I tease people that she was the granddaughter of Tina Louise from Gilligan's Island. They looked so much alike. They actually called her Giggles because every time she'd say something, she'd giggle, and she was tall. And when we would bring the money to the security desk at 1 o'clock in the morning, that's when everything had to be shut down and we were finished. Actually, about 1:20. Believe me, every guy in the place watched as she walked across the floor to the thing. This was a lady and a half, but she was just that, a lady. But she was the kind of woman that every guy dreams about, trust me, or would think would be in Las Vegas. And what I found out about most of the women in Las Vegas, they're no different than women anywhere else. They're ladies there. There's no difference. There's a lot of fine ladies there. Although it is a dating city, and you go there. If you're living somewhere where you can't get a lot of dates, well, Vegas is the place to go. But it's a lot of risk that comes with it. Anyhow, some of the other incidents that took place there was one night was when I had a customer guy about to pull the wheel, and this lady walks up, does that to him, and walks over there to see her, and it ends up being Divine Brown. Divine Brown's that prostitute that caught in 1995 with the actor Hugh Grant. And she did look a little bit familiar. And then he come back and told me who she was, and she's doing this to me, and I'm just walking over, and I go, "What do you want? Are you a tourist?" "No, I'm not a tourist." "Okay, bye." About 2 nights later, I'm walking home. That's when Kathy would work in that night, because usually we'd ride home together on her truck. She pulls up to me in a Mercedes Benz, not a new one, a used one. And I'm trying to figure out, what does she want? I just saw her a couple of nights before. But she did not even recognize me. And apparently she asked me the same question: "Are you a tourist?" "No, I'm not." Of course, and then she took off. The whole gimmick is she's looking for a customer, but to be on the safe side, she wants somebody that's a tourist who will take out their driver's license and show it to her. So that way she knows you're not a cop. And that's how she was picking up customers that way. Of course, half the prostitutes in Vegas have AIDS, and it ain't worth it. I don't care if they don't have AIDS or not; it just isn't worth it. It's a horrible thing that their life that they live. I don't want to get into it. Anyhow, another incident that took place was on New Year's night. It was supposed to be around midnight, but I think it was right about 11 o'clock. They imploded the hacienda, which is now where the Mandela base is at. That's just a little bit further up from the New York. And of course, the Holiday Casino Boardwalk was next to the New York at one time. And of course, the Holiday Casino Boardwalk today has been imploded. It was imploded back in 2006. And but further up, towards the Klondike, towards the sign that says "Welcome to Las Vegas," was the hacienda, and they imploded it that night. And about almost 500,000 people came to watch the implosion. Well, we had to shut down at the bottom down there because people were coming back and they're just coming through our casinos just like just too many people. So we had to shut the doors, close it down, and they told us, well, promotion's out for the night and go home. So I go get me some hot chocolate. I'm walking out the door. I'm getting down the street, heading for Harmon Avenue, and some guy comes up behind me and whacks me up right side the head. I have these kind of reflexes where I just kind of went like that and got him in the face with the hot chocolate. And he was over at an ambulance. Not too a few minutes later, he was looking for an ambulance. I'll just say it that way. I have those reflexes where somebody does something to me, I can react in ways with not even meaning to do it. It's a good thing because he was a big guy, and he was actually with another guy, but I think they were intoxicated. But pushing me in the back of the head wasn't a very smart thing on his part to do. I don't know what happened to him, but he got a good burn, that's for sure. Anyhow, that's just some of the things. And the other funny one is the one where I was walking down Harmon one day, which is near the Hard Rock Hotel, and that's where I lived at, 25 minutes from the Holiday Casino Boardwalk. I didn't have a car, and that's because I was only supposed to be in Vegas for a short while, and so I didn't bother to get one. And I actually lived at the Harbor Island Apartments. Anyhow, and I come across this guy who's unresponsive there on the side of the street. And there's 2 police cars pulling right up there. There's a fence along the sidewalk there in a big parking lot. These 2 cops pull up. And I'm sitting here, screaming at them, we got a guy over here, needs some help. And they said, well, what do you want us to do? And I said, well, police officers, can you call the ambulance, get on the radio? Unfortunately, these 2 men were stuntmen. So it didn't do me any good, and their radios in their car, of course, weren't real radios. And those guns they had weren't real guns. Those radios they had were not real radios. So finally I had to flag someone down to get them to make a phone call with a phone, or get to a phone. I don't know if they had a cell phone. And get an ambulance there, and they picked him up and took him away. But unfortunately, he was still alive. But that was just absolutely hilarious. And I think that's about all the time I'm going to have. But anyhow, some of the people that worked there was, like I said, was an unknown comic. There was Sandy Hackett, the son of Buddy Hackett, or the late Buddy Hackett now, who worked there, did a show. We had a lot of Elvis impersonators, Charlie Chaplin impersonators, and basically it was just a low-key casino. We had robberies, we had attempted rapes, we've had some pretty rough things that took place there at times. It was a dangerous place to work. A lot of people got fired. A lot of people don't show up. Casinos, a lot of times, are like fast food joints. People come and go quite often. And it's a rough business, basically. That's why most people don't last long. It's the lady that ran it, we called her the mob lady because it was run she ran it like a mobster, like a mob boss would. That's quite understandable. Today, I don't think casinos are run like that anymore. It's more business-like. I think this was at a time when things were just coming to the very end, where the old-style type of casinos, like in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 30s, whatever, those type of casinos are pretty much a thing of the past, and the way they ran them are pretty much over. Because, again, times have changed. But you go to Las Vegas to work for one, just remember, it's a very fast-paced place, and you're going to have an adventure. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be an adventure for you. Anyway, I've run out of time, and I might make a second tape. I'm going to be definitely doing some more tapes on casinos that I've worked for. Again, on this video, I can only go about 10 minutes. So anyway, I just wanted to share some of these stories with you, and hopefully somebody will find something in it that's interesting. Thank you for your time.